Alright, what is up guys? It is Thompson or Mania11, back again here today with a live ORAS Pokemon battle. Today I'll be having a battle against Mulvone19. Once again, same sort of situation as what I had with 6-foot hacks. Mulvone was having a stream and I jumped on that, asked him for a battle, ended up getting it. So I'll go ahead and jump right into this. I'm using the same team as before, so the Mega Glalie one, with the core sort of with the Choice Scarf Heatran. I'm sorry if it's a bit noisy and windy outside. There's like a massive tropical thunderstorm coming over the Gold Coast right at this moment. But we'll go ahead and jump on into this. We'll go ahead and start the battle using our current team that we had from the last one, like I said. So we'll start this battle against Mulvone19. If you guys don't know Mulvone19, make sure you go ahead and check out his channel. If you know of me, once again, you should probably know more of him. But going ahead and having a look at his team there, he's got the Mega, what I would assume would be Mega Sapphire, so that's may end up being a bit of a problem. I do have specially defensive, what's her name, like I said in the last battle, specially defensive Trevenant, which if it's physical should be good against that, and we've got Mega Glalie. But having a look at his team, what's he likely to lead off with? I'm thinking probably the Rotom, which I mean Trevenant does alright against that as well, although if he leads off with something like what was it going to say? If he leads off with something like the Talonflame, which may also be a possibility, that's also going to be really bad. Obviously, especially defensive Trevenant can't take any hits from what I would assume would be a choice banded Talonflame. So we go ahead and lead off with our Trevenant as he leads off with the Rotom. Not a bad matchup for us. First turn, I'm feeling what's he got on his team. I'm going to assume that probably the Talonflame's going to be coming in, or the Mandibuzz to take whatever I want to go for. So, knowing that, probably the safest play that I could go for, because there's not really... Oh, I guess he's going to go for the Volt Switch. He's definitely going to go for the Volt Switch out into one of those two. And I guess Will-O-Wisp's probably my safest bet, like predicting his Mandibuzz to come in just to get a bit of residual damage on that, and it means that that'll cripple it for the rest of the battle. But if his Talonflame is the one to come in, then shouldn't be too much of a problem with that, because we do have physically defensive Zapdos, which will be able to take it on pretty well, I would assume. So, seeing what Mulvone's going to go for here, let's see. Now, I also changed the volume on the battle, so you guys should be able to hear it better than my last one. It's like I'm just getting used to this ORAS Wi-Fi battling and doing it live. It's very different to what I used to do, like with the 3 or whatever battles. And I am bringing this content to you guys because I think that you guys are enjoying this more than my playthroughs and everything. Getting more views, at least, on the Wi-Fi battles that I did do. And live, I kind of like doing it live. You get to see my reactions to everything as it goes through. He does end up switching in his Mandibuzz, so if we can get off this Will-O-Wisp on it, shouldn't be that big of a deal. We do get, and that will be very good residual damage for the remainder of the battle. Now, Mandibuzz tend to carry what? Foul Play, Toxic, Knockoff, and something. I don't know, Roost, probably. At least that's my set that I think I run on Mandibuzz. And just having a look at his team, I don't... We don't want to switch into many of our walls in case he does go forward the Toxic. Heatran's Choice Scarf isn't really going to be the most crucial thing in this battle, but it would be useful against, say, the Gengar, just outspeeding that, obviously. But what else do we have to deal with the Gengar? Nothing much. So, I'm thinking if he is going to go for the Toxic or the Knockoff, our safest play probably is going to be going into our Conch Elder, just in case we get the Guts boost and whatever, and then we can hit the rest of his team up with some pretty solid damage against whatever he wants to go for. Going for the Knockoff there, so just getting the safer play, doing absolutely nothing to us. That's what, like 12 damage there. I thought we had 201 HP. Doing like 12 damage there, getting rid of our Assault Vest, which may come into play a bit later on, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. And now I think we can just go for a nice and safe Ice Punch. He doesn't really have much that he wants to switch into this. I mean, I guess he could switch in his Rotom, but Rotom doesn't really want to burn us in return, because that will obviously give us a Guts boost. So he's going to switch out into his Talonflame. This should do decent-ish damage against it, I guess, being neutral and all. And doing about half, and it turns out that it's a leftovers Talonflame, so probably got the Swords Dance. So that's a bit threatening. We do have a pretty good switch in with our Zapdos, our Lost Zapdos that I nicknamed Lost Plus. If you get that reference, good on you. You have good taste in music. But we should be able to eat up any Brave Bird or anything that he wants to go for. But he does in fact have the Roost. So Mulvone hasn't Mega Evolved his Sceptile yet, so we are still safe to go for an electric move without him getting a special attack boost or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and I'm actually rocking Discharge on this, kind of inspired by Mega Mogwai's Zapdos that he uses in the GBAD League, just for the extra chance of Paralysis. Doing decent damage there to the Rotom, I guess. And now we should be safe just to switch back out into our Trevenant to take whatever this Rotom wants to go for. Because we are rocking Lumberry Rest on it, so even if he burns us, we do have the chance of getting back our HP with the... actually healing off the burn with the Lumberry and whatever. And Volt switching out, I guess that was his safest play and everything. Going into... what? Let's see. He's going to end up probably switching back out into his Talonflame, just because that, like, it can eat any hit that we go for. I've only got Horn Leech on this, so 4 times resists that, and can probably hit us back with the Brave Bird, which would clean knock us out, I'd say. And there's thunder in the background, so sorry if you guys can hear that. But going alright so far, I guess. Haven't revealed Choice Scarf Heatran, which was our ace in the last battle against 6-foot Hacks. So, although it probably won't come in handy as much this battle, just because of the team that Mulvone is running. So just waiting to see what he decides to go for here. Sending out the Gengar. Right. So these special attackers are a bit of a problem, just because Trevenant is our special defensive wall, and we don't have much to take it on. But predicting it to go for, I don't know, we'll go into our Heatran. Hopefully didn't predict that and go for the Focus Blast. He didn't, going straight for the Shadow Ball, doing a lot of damage to us, holy shit. And let's see, what's going to be the best move that we can go for? Probably, don't know, Fire Blast does have the chance to miss, but it is our strongest move, and we are able to get that off. Hitting up the Gengar, getting the burn, not quite knocking it out, but that burn will come in handy, because it will mean that this Gengar is taken out. So there goes the Heatran, unfortunately, but it will be a double down because of the burn that we got off on the Gengar. So, bit of unfortunate hacks there, but Heatran was the only thing that I needed to, Gengar was the only thing that I needed Heatran around for, and even if that wasn't the case, we could have just brought in Glalie and gone for the Ice Shard. So, now I think it's pretty safe for us to go into our Conch Elder, as my opponent brings out the Sceptile. Obviously going to be a Mega Sceptile. I mean, why would you run Sceptile? in ORAS without it being Mega or whatever, unless it's like you have a heap of Megas on your team and choose whichever one you want. So he's already seen that we have the super effective Ice Punch. I don't think this would be able to take us out with any one hit, unless it's like a Leaf Storm or something, but I think that's pretty risky for him to go for that at this point in time. So I'll go ahead and just go for the safe Drain Punch. There we go, he is switching out as I expected. Going into the Rotom, we should be able to hit this up with a nice bit of damage now with the Drain Punch. Doing significant damage there, getting us back up to full health, but it's not really that big of a deal at this point in time. And he doesn't have any safe switch. Oh, he has Talonflame, I guess, which can switch into this, but he doesn't have a safe switch in like Gengar anymore. So, kind of predicting him to Volt Switch out into the Talonflame, just going to go for the safe knockoff. And of course, as long as he doesn't bring in like the Terrakion, which would get a justified boost, nor the Sceptile, which we can't knock off its Mega Stone for, we should be able to cripple something. Again, him switching into the Mandibuzz, we will be able to knock off its leftovers, I assume. So, there we go, getting rid of the leftovers. And now this thing is going to be taking a heap of residual damage. So, he can't Toxic us, because that will give us the Guts boost. Probably going to go for the Roost, I'd say, which will give us a free opportunity to just go for the Drain Punch. No, it turns out that he is going to go for the Foul Play, which it is resisted, and even though we are max attack, we are still able to eat that up, and doing a lot of damage to the Mandibuzz, which now puts him in a position where he has to Roost, or risk being knocked out by our Drain Punch. So, once again, he doesn't have anything that wants to really take any of my hits, so if we stay in, go for the Drain Punch, just to be safe. Could have gone for the Muck Punch there, possibly knocking it out, but I think Drain Punch was just our safest play, in case he did try to pull some switch shenanigans or anything like that, and almost back up to full HP. So, Conqueror putting in work against his team now that the Gengar is out of the way, and Talonflame is now weakened. So, let's see, he is going to bring in the Talonflame, and we still want to keep this around for revenge killing the Terrakion in the future. So, we went into Zapdos last turn when this came in, so I think it should be safe for us to bring in our Slowbro this turn, just in case he wants to go for the Flare Blitz, which I'd say probably is a 2-hit KO against our Zapdos, just because it wouldn't be resisted. So I was going for the Bulk Up with the Talonflame. This is a physically defensive Slowbro, not a Mega Slowbro. I don't really like running Mega Slowbro. This is just like a standard-ish normal Slowbro. So we'll go ahead and I'm actually running Thunder Wave on this, so if he does decide to switch out into his Sceptile, we will be able to cripple that for the rest of the match with the Thunder Wave, and he does in fact end up switching out into that. So we'll be able to go ahead and cripple this for the match now with the Thunder Wave, because it doesn't have Lightning Rod on the switching. So at this point, this is crippled. He's got the Choice Scarf Terrakion, well I assume it's Choice Scarf. He's got the Bulk Up Talonflame. I think we can just easily switch into our Trevenant, which should be able to take this Sceptile on pretty easily, as long as it's not a physical one with like some weird like acrobatics, or even if it has Hidden Power Fire, we should be able to take that on pretty well. So Sceptile ends up Mega Evolving, nice and shiny Mega Sceptile. So there's going to be two shiny Megas in this battle. Sceptile is paralyzed, unfortunately. I think at this point, there's definitely the only thing that he can switch into basically is his Talonflame, because Mandibuzz is taken out, his Gengar's taken out. He doesn't want to take a Horn Leech from this on the Rotom or the Terrakion. So, only thing that he has left to switch in will be the Talonflame, in which case I think we can safely just go into our Lost Plus, our Zapdos. Should be able to take anything this wants to go for, and we will be able to, of course, hit up the Talonflame with whatever he wants to go into after that. So, Sceptile. So it turns out that I mispredicted that. That's a bit unfortunate. And he is going to hit us up with the Dragon Pulse. That's doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage there, because we don't have any special defense investment on this Zapdos, unfortunately. Just to deal with any Mega Salamence or anything like that. But it should still be a relatively safe switch back into our Trevenant, just taking whatever he wants to go for. And we will eventually be able to whittle it down if we can take 2 of these with a Horn Leech. There we go. That's doing a lot of damage, but we will just go for the rest. So we've got Harvest, Lumberry, Rest, so he won't be able to break us that easily, I don't think, at this point. And of course we do have a perfect counter, well not a counter, but a check to this with our Mega Glalie, hitting it up for the 4x super effective moves. So we ended up getting the Harvest on the first turn, that was pretty lucky. And we'll just go for the Horn Leech. I guess it's just leaving this in to see what we want to go for. That's doing absolutely nothing against the Sceptile, but going for the Hidden Power. I'm assuming this is going to be either Hidden Power Fire or Hidden Power Ice, and because it's non-stab, we are able to eat that up better than a Dragon Pulse, so we'll just go once again for the Horn Leech. I know that Trevenant does get Drain Punch, I think, from the RS tutors, but just haven't fitted it into this moveset. Like Horn Leech, Leech Seed, Rest, and Will-O-Wisp, I think, is pretty good coverage at the moment. Like, not coverage, but pretty good for stalling and everything. So, just going to need to see what Mulvone decides to do. Still leaving this in, obviously hoping to get us to switch out at some point. Pretty stally at the moment, to be honest. I mean, we have our Lumberry, so we can just rest recover whenever we want. Which will probably be next turn. And he's probably going to end up using this as an opportunity to just switch out. No, he's not going to switch out. And that was a lot of thunder outside, if you guys can't hear. Wow. Good thing living in Australia. Get massive fucking storms all year round. So, we are going to recover up to full there with the rest. This is only just a 2-hit KO. Well, not even a 2-hit KO, like a 3-hit KO at best, which means we will be able to go for another Horn Leech before needing to rest again, and we're getting very lucky with the first turn Lum recovery. So it's going to end up switching out into his Talonflame. This thing still is at full health, so going to be eating that up. Of course, he's got a lot of things on his team that 4x resist the Grass-type moves, so Talonflame now, bit of a problem in some places, I guess. But we do have two good switches into it. Just going to go back into our Slowbro and going to probably hit whatever he wants to bring in. He's going to do a double switch as we switch out as well. He's going to go into his Rotom as we end up going into our Slowbro, and we need to keep Slowbro around just for making sure that the Terrakion doesn't get too out of hand. So I'll go ahead and switch out of there, go into our... We'll go into our Conkeldurr, because it should be able to handle this pretty well. If he does want to go for the Volt Switch or the Will-O-Wisp, we can handle that decently well, I guess. And he decides to go for the rest. So this Rotom is going to be back up at full HP, but it shouldn't prove to be that much of an issue as long as we keep our Trevenant around. Because we can Leech Seed it and then we can stall it out. Because even with Will-O-Wisp, we do have the Lumberry. So now, what's he got left on his team? He's got Terrakion, so he can't spam Knockoff. He's got the Sceptile and the Talonflame. So at this point in time, I think our safest bet is to just go for the Ice Punch, because it's not very effective against this, but it is going to be at least neutral, if not super effective, against the rest of his team. So if he does go for the Volt Switch, we will be able to hit up whatever he wants to go into for decent-ish damage, I guess. And Conkeldurr is cracking his neck there with Rotom dancing on the outside. Nice and dancing Rotom. So he decides to just stay in and go for the Hydro Pump. That's a new animation for Hydro Pump, I'm pretty sure. That did a lot of damage. Holy crap. That is definitely definitely got some investment in there, I would say, on that Rotom. But of course we don't have our Assault Vest anymore. So I was going to Volt Switch out, probably this turn going to be going into the Talonflame, which would be a good switch on his behalf, as we end up going for the Drain Punch. Definitely should have predicted that better, but unfortunately just didn't. Doing decentish damage there. Conkeldurr is definitely no slouch with its attack stat, and Talonflame doesn't have the best defenses, even though it does resist that hit. So we'll go ahead and go out into our Zapdos, I think, because we should still be able to eat up any hit from this. If we can get a rest off, that'd be great. And we do carry the Hidden Power Ice for the Mega Sceptiles and Mega Salamence and stuff, so even if he does want to predict us to go for that, shouldn't be that big of a deal. Going for the Brave Bird, got defense investment, we should be able to resist that and take that pretty well. Not as... it was a crit, so not as... I was going to say not as well as I had hoped, but still pretty good. So go ahead and go for the Roost now, I'd say, just to get a bit of extra HP back. Although, would the switch into the Sceptile be too obvious? No, he's just going to go for the Flare Blitz. I'm hoping we can eat this up. Come on, defensive Zapdos. He gets a double crit, of course. So, double crit there. Really annoying, but there's not much you can do about it. It's hacks, it's part of the game. But this will now allow us to get a switch into our Slowbro. And at this point, I think firing off just a stab Psyshock should do decent coverage against the rest of his team at least. So don't want to go for Scald in case Rotom or the Sceptile come in, and Psyshock does do neutral against all of the above. So bringing in the Sceptile, we are going to go for the Psyshock, and that's going to do, let's see, should do a decent, ooh, critical hit. So we're getting a return crit there in the end, but I don't think that will really matter all that much. We can now just bring in our Trevenant, and this should just be able to finish this Sceptile off, which will mean that we can spam Thunder Wave once again. Going for the Leaf Storm there, so definitely good that we had the safe switch in to Trevenant, because we still need to keep Slowbro around, especially since our Zapdos went down. We need it for both the Terrakion and the Talonflame, so knowing that, what health was the Talonflame at? It wasn't at a hell of a lot. Probably going to switch out here still, and if not, then we got a useless Leech Seed off. Dragon Pulse won't be able to take us out just because of the -2 in special attack, doing a lot still though, bringing us down to red, but we can just rest off the damage because we have the Lumberry still. So, Trevenant putting in work here, countering the Mega Sceptile, doing a very nice job. For like, it's what, UU or something? So, obviously showing that it can still have some use in the current OU metagame. Not bad, Trevenant, not bad at all. Getting a crit, of course. So, but after this, no, we still need Trevenant around for the Rotom, so we still need to keep Trevenant. We can't just sack it off to whatever he wants to bring in next, unless it's a Terrakion. We could risk going for the Will-O-Wisp against that, because, you know, not too bad. So, definitely going to make the safe switch into... Oh, he decides to go into Terrakion. Now, Trevenant isn't physically defensive. We are max HP though, but we do resist all of his hits, so unless he's got like X-Scissor or something, can we take this? He ends up missing the Stone Edge. We get off the Will-O-Wisp. So, bit of unfortunate hacks there. He did get the double crit against my Zapdos, but yeah, not much you can do about it now. And this means that we are in a position that we can take whatever hit this Terrakion wants to go for, and we should be able to get back a massive amount of health with the Horn Leech. He misses the second Stone Edge. That is a risk of using Stone Miss, but yeah, feeling sorry a bit here for Mulvone. not great when you get the double miss with the Stone Edge. But we will be able to take out the Tracheon, so Trevenant taking out 2 Pokemon. Is that right? Sceptile and this Terrakion? Yeah, so not bad for the Trevenant. Taking out the Terrakion, so we didn't end up needing to keep Conkeldurr around for the Terrakion, because it could have Mach Punched it, which would have done a lot of damage, especially if it had taken some prior. And Slowbro's now not needed as much, in fact at all, is it? Because, no, Slowbro's still needed, of course, for the Talonflame. This battle's, well, I've been recording for almost 25 minutes here, so this is a very nice and long battle. Getting good work done against Mulvone's team, bringing in the Talonflame. Is he going to pull the double switch out into the Rotom? I don't know. I'm predicting that he will. If not, what do we still have for Rotom? Conkeldurr's kind of useless for our team at the moment, so I'll just make the safe switch into Conkeldurr. Just sacking this off. If he does want to switch out, then we can go for the Drain Punch next turn, obviously. But if he is going to Brave Bird, which he just did, then this is probably our safest thing to sack off. I would still like to see our Mega Glalie go boom. That would be pretty cool to see. So now Talonflame severely damaged now, getting a little bit of HP back with the leftovers, but not going to be enough. We can safely bring in our Slowbro now. Going to be able to take whatever it wants to go for, or if it wants to switch out to Rotom, we will just go for the safe Psyshock. So, I think we've got the game in the bag at the moment. Have to make some pretty bad plays and choke pretty badly to lose it from here. Deciding to switch out there, going into the Rotom. We will be able to take, well, we don't want to take anything that this Rotom goes for, so Switch will be doing a lot. But we do get a crit with the Psyshock, getting a lot of crits this battle. But there's definitely going to go for the Volt Switch, and there's not a hell of a lot I can do about that. Can I take a Volt Switch? Let's see. Slowbro doesn't have the best special defense. It's got 103, which is decent-ish, I guess. I guess I'm just going to stay in and go for the Slap Off. Hopefully this doesn't kill us. We are pretty bulky, doing not even half to us, which means we will be back up at full health with this incoming Talonflame after the Slap Off. So, good thing I stayed in there. Kind of a safe play, because there's nothing on my team that really wants to take on this Talonflame if I did switch out. So, back up to full with the Slowbro, no problem there. And at this point, I think a Psyshock, I'm kind of squinting a lot in this battle, I just noticed, should be able to finish everything off with the Psyshock, even if he does want to go for the bulk up this turn. That will raise his physical defense, which may be an issue taking it out with the Psyshock, but otherwise he won't be able to take us out with anything else. And then Rotom is pretty easily handled from here on out, after this goes down, of course, with the Trevenant. So I'll go for the Scald. With that +1, I don't think he wants to really risk switching out at all now. Going for the Roost. Let's see how much, because this is going to be an uninvested but stab super effective Scald still against Talonflame. Super effective, and doesn't have the best special defense. Easily being able to take that out in one hit. So bulky Talonflame not doing a lot to our team, thank you very much. Did take out our Conkeldurr, of course, but we did kind of sack that off just to get the free switch in. And now all that's left is this Rotom. We'll just stay in, go for the Psyshock. If he wants to go for the rest, then we will. There we go. So that was the match, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Pretty good battle, I'd have to say, against Mulvone19. But anyway, if you guys didn't all enjoy, make sure you go and check out my opponent's channel, Mulvone19. If you did enjoy my side of the battle, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you did enjoy it. And I hope to see you guys all later with the next Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. Thank you very much. Goodbye.